Well, hello, everyone. Happy Saturday and welcome to A Course in Miracles 365 Awakening to Love. I'm your host, Tomas Garza, and I hope you're having a great weekend. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all about relaxation and fun. And as we're going to find out today on this show, asking ourselves some really deep adult questions. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, well, I know that sometimes we'd like to believe otherwise, but spirituality is very much an an adult exercise, yeah, an adult game, so to speak. It's a grown-up operation. Yeah, and we all know this. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But first of all, again, thank you for joining me. And I hope you're having a great Saturday here. It's Saturday in North America. So for those of you in Asia and the Pacific Islands, I know there are a bunch of you out there watching. And well, happy Sunday to all of you. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And well, today we're reviewing a couple of ideas in the workbook for students that I love. And well, you might say, well, I say that pretty much every day. Yes, just yes. A Course in Miracles has been the foundational centerpiece of my own spiritual practice for, I would say, the past 8 years. And it it is just, it's just amazing what can happen when you make a decision to go deep with yourself. Now, this might not be with this exact self-study curriculum. It might not be A Course in Miracles for you. This is something that people can use as a supplement or an adjunct to their current practice. It's not designed necessarily to replace what you're already doing, though if you choose to do it that way, that's absolutely fine. You know, when this material found me in 2013, I found myself in a space where I was receptive. And I was particularly receptive to this exact presentation and was looking for it. And that was without really being wholly 100% conscious of that. That's why I say it just found me, which is a lot more accurate. And what is very clear to me now, 8 years down the line, and teaching this material, being an exponent for it worldwide, it's that it was time and absolutely meant to be. So you may be in that place and maybe you're not. And there are plenty of you who are just kind of checking this out. And I welcome all of you. I do want to say that this is live. It's a live interactive forum. So if you have questions, if you have comments, definitely please leave them here. I'll catch them on the replay if you're catching the replay here. Now, if you're doing this live, typically, if you haven't tuned in before, again, welcome. And I usually talk about the idea or ideas for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then we have some time for live interaction. So just pop in, say hello, and you never know what you're going to get out of this. But suffice it to say, there's a reason why you're watching right now. All right. So let's get into it. Where we are is we're in a review period. We've been in this review period for the last several days, and we will be for the duration of next week as well. Periodically, the workbook for students goes back over some ideas that we've previously covered, and we get to review them. And we need to review them, don't we, as adult learners? I mean, we can all be real honest with ourselves. We are sometimes highly selective in what we choose to have penetrate our being and our mind stream, right? Yeah. And we're always evaluating ideas, judging, and well, we need to see them several times before we make a decision to put them into practice in our lives and begin to apply them, because that's what spirituality is all about, of course, is application. It's not about, do you believe it or not? It's about, well, does it resonate? And are you going to apply that in your life? And you're gathering that there's a theme here, a constant theme, and that's we have a choice. We have a choice in the present moment, whether we're going to choose love or God or spirit, source, or higher self, or whether we're going to choose fear and the ego and play it small, like we have been doing for a long, long, long time. Mm-hmm. So, deep level questions today that are perfect for the review ideas. Are you done playing small? Maybe you've answered that question in the affirmative already. And well, and maybe you say, well, no, I'm not. I'm going to just go back to the way I was. Well, all right. I will submit, I just want to throw out there, it's too late. You're watching Enlightened World Network. Yeah, it's too late for you to go back to the way it was. And hopefully you wouldn't want to. So lesson 145 is where we are today. And we're reviewing lessons 129 and 130 from the workbook for students. And if you like, you can follow along in the workbook itself, whether you have a physical copy or whether you're looking at it online or whether you go and Google it later. It's all there with some really wonderful erudite commentary. People have really poured over this material for the last few decades, and there's some really helpful, really beautiful commentaries out there, to which this live stream is just another contribution. So we're encouraged to start and sit with the idea, my mind holds only what I think with God. So if you do nothing other than repeat that for a little while today, that's extraordinarily helpful. Oh yeah, my mind holds only what I think with God and nothing else. So sit with that one for a little bit. And then as you sit in that, you may get some answers from your inner teacher on what this means in your life. You may get some hint or inclination as to what you are to do. You may get some feelings. You might feel lighter. Yeah? You might feel more loving, more boundless, forgiving. This is a statement of truth and liberation for all of us. My mind holds only what I think with God. So review idea, first idea for today, lesson 129. Beyond this world, there is a world that I want. So yesterday we were reviewing the idea that the world I see holds nothing that I want. And we talked about brand new cars and hot, sexy love interests, cool clothes, lots of money, things like that, the things that we crave and covet and pursue here in the world. And the Course, as it always does, invites us to go deeper. It invites us to go deeper and consider what we really want. Now, the difference, when you think about it, is pretty clear. It really is. It gets obscured in our daily life, but the difference is pretty clear. Do you want the peace of God? In other words, permanent, ongoing, limitless peace of God, or do you want constant change, sorrow, strife, suffering? You might feel on top of the world one moment, high as can be, and then you get brought down to a whole new low. And even the most blissful states here in the world don't last. So happily, we're equipped with the power to choose what we want. Yeah. You have that power. Lesson 129. This is an idea to sit with and to contemplate. Beyond this world, there is a world that I want. Okay, it's not another planet Earth here. It's internal change, ourselves. It's our changing our own mind about what we wish to see. Therefore, we see it. We do see and experience what we choose to see. And the Course puts it this way, what we value. Yeah. So if we value constant strife and turmoil, people fighting against people, yourself fighting against other people and yourself, and the aging process of the physical body, and you know, all that drama. If you value that, you see it. Now, if you value the peace of God, guess what? Make that choice often enough, becomes habitual. Guess what you see? And guess what you experience? And lesson 130, it is impossible to see two worlds. So you will have heard in spiritual practice, especially if you're familiar with A Course in Miracles, that you can't have it both ways, can you? I mean, forgiveness is either total or it's not at all. Either you choose God, love, or you choose the ego. You can't have some of your habitual tendencies and your little judgments. You can't forgive some people and not others. And you can't love some people and not others. That's not love. Love is completely maximal. It's unitary. It's all inclusive. And we should be really glad that that's the case. It is impossible, in fact, to see two worlds. If you choose the world of suffering, the world of form, then that's what you see. That's what you experience time and again 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 and again, until you make a decision that, well, could be a decision that you've had enough. And it's a decision to take responsibility for finding the way out. Now, you can ask for help along the way. There's no substitute for doing the work. However, you have some powerful, powerful divine assistance at your fingertips, available just for the asking. So ask. Yeah. Now, if you find yourself in a place where you're looking for a guide, for a spiritual path, then I invite you to continue that inquiry. This is really valuable. It's a very good and very valuable place to be. It means you're asking some deeper questions. And that's what we need to do. All of us, we need to be adult. As I said at the outset of this live stream, spirituality is an adult endeavor. It's for grown-ups. Isn't that exciting? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no one's going to wave a magic wand and magically enlighten us. We do it ourselves. We do it ourselves. What's encouraging about that? Well, we have the power to do it. We have the power to do it. And it's all about making adult choices, isn't it? It's about accepting responsibility. As they put it in A Course in Miracles, it's accepting atonement for yourself. Now, atonement, of course, has a different meaning in A Course in Miracles than it does in regular, ordinary life. It's accepting forgiveness. It's accepting the truth of who you are. There are many ways that you could describe that. But it's owning the fact that you're in charge of your own awakening, and no one else is in charge of that. So if there are habitual tendencies that you have that keep you tied to the world of form, that keep you tied to the ego, then we all invite you to examine those and bring them to the light. You know? This is all about having courage, because spirituality is a very courageous act. Oh, big time. Yeah. It's an adult game, like I said. It is for everybody, actually. So if you're tempted to say, well, it's not for me, well, actually it is for you. It's for everybody. And each of us will do it at some point. Now, you are extraordinarily fortunate in this life because you're in a place where you are interested in it. You are actively pursuing it. And if you're really not totally actively pursuing it, by watching this, by tuning into this live stream, you are curious. And that's a great place to be. Stay curious. Stay curious and keep asking deep questions. And when you think you can't get any deeper, ask deeper questions. I invite and encourage everyone to question the foundations of everything that you now believe. Everything. So we make a choice as to which world we want to see. And we're just using the world, the word world as just a symbol. The truth of who we are is not subject to a world. It's not subject to this round thing that we call a planet, which is spinning in this thing we call orbit around this thing we call a star or the sun or whatever other name we want to apply to it. It's not about the physical world or time or space. The reality is not dependent on that at all. However, while we appear to be here as what we call human beings, running around on this thing we call a planet that we call Earth, and other names, of course, we need spiritual practice. We need repetition. We need forgiveness. We need to repeat to ourselves that it is impossible to see two worlds. So we make a choice as to which we wish to see. Do we choose love or fear? Do we choose God or the ego? That's the choice that we make in the present moment. I mean, it just seems like we have millions and millions of other choices, but that is the deep level, again, we're talking about the choice that we have to make. And I hope that you may make that choice today, as in right now, for yourself. All right. So part of what I really love about this is the ability that we all have to interact with each other live. So I'm going to bring up the live stream here on Enlightened World Network. And while I'm doing that, just a quick reminder that if you're interested in catching some back episodes of this show, they're all available on the YouTube channel for Enlightened World Network. Now, every show, when you go on there, you'll discover that every single show on the network, on all of its channels, has its own playlist. So you can literally pick and choose. You can take a look at shows, past and present, I might add, shows that are no longer running, still there on the YouTube channel. It's an amazing resource for content. And this show has its own playlist as well. It's A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. And this is updated every day. So there must be, gosh, I would say 170 episodes of this show on here right now. So if you're interested in catching a past episode, that's where you can find it. All right. So definitely, if you're catching me on the replay, let me know and say hello. Drop in here, and I will be back with you on Monday of this coming week. Where we're going from here is we're going to continue to review these very, very uplifting and very important ideas in the workbook for students. And I will see you back here. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, guys.